Good morning guys, welcome back to another video. So today's actually a rest day. I'm not training on the bike today, but I've got a bike fit. So the bike fit's up in Manchester later on this afternoon. So because today's a rest day, I'm at work again today. The bike fit's later on this afternoon, so after work I'll drive up to Manchester. But I am very excited and probably more intrigued, to be honest, to see how much they change it based on their scientific is that a word? Their scientific methods and the pressure mapping. I wonder how much they're going to sort of change the saddle or change my cleats. I am very interested by all of this and I do get very much into it, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But for now, work, and I'll see you in a bit.
One eternity later.
Alright, just finished up work, heading off to Manchester now. Hopefully it's going to take about an hour if there's no traffic. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I miss rush hour and I get there just before it starts. I'll tell you what, I am thankful it's a rest day today. It's not very nice out there at all. You know, I love coming to the city, like I love coming to visit Manchester or London or wherever the case may be, but I hate driving in the city. It's so stressful. So stressful. And have a look at this, guys. I washed my kit this morning and I washed my shoes because they were filthy. I should have done it last night, but I did it this morning. And I was actually very careful I didn't get any water in the shoe. But I did, and they're soaking wet, so I'm just trying to blast them dry on this. Which one?
Turn right onto A62.
I'm lost.
Make a U-turn and proceed to Todd Street.
So as I was saying, I got water in my cycling shoes, so I'm trying to blast them dry on the blower in the car. And it's boiling hot in here. I found the shop. Now I just need to find somewhere to park. So I'm actually quite early. I've got about 25 minutes until my appointment starts. But I've just parked outside this little coffee house. It looks quite nice, so I might go for a drink. It's a great little coffee. It's only a small flat white, and small flat whites don't normally get my vote, but this is a good one. So if you're in Manchester, you've got to check out Tark Coffee House. Alright, change of plan. This car park on this street is maximum 2 hours. And I need 4. Alright, it's warping ahead now about 4 hours. I've had my bike fit and it's all done and dusted. I didn't actually do any filming in the shop. I just wanted to focus on the bike fit because I've been having a couple of problems with my knees and like my back and stuff, and I just wanted to focus and make sure I got it right, and I didn't want to have the distraction of the camera. I'm sorry about that, but I've got a 6-page document of all the different little positions that he changed. We made some pretty drastic changes, to be honest. My seat height went up quite a lot. Like I said, I've got a 6-page Word document, and when I get home we'll sit down, have a run through all the different things that he changed today in my bike fit. It's about 6 o'clock now. I really hope the traffic isn't bad. What a nightmare. Well and truly hit this rush hour traffic. Ding! I love this city, I hate traffic. I'll give you a quick update. I left the shop at 5, it's now 5:32. The speed is 0. I'm still in Manchester, but it should only take me 45 minutes from door to door. We're moving, come on! We're stopping, we're stopping. Just got back, finally. It took me 2 hours. So the bike fitting that I received today was done by they call it a physio-led bike fitter. This seems to be becoming, hold on. Sam, what are you eating? Yeah, physio-led bike fitting seems to be becoming more and more popular these days, as there is a lot of bike fitters out there who just want to make you as aerodynamic as possible and sort of have no disregard for any health or physical health aspects. For example, you can be that low down on the front of your bike that you're trapping off nerves in your hip bones, therefore you're not able to produce as much power. And then in the long run, even though you're more aerodynamic, you go slower because you're not able to produce as much power. So this bike fit was a physio-led one which sort of tried to find a compromise between comfort aerodynamic and one that wasn't putting any restrictions from a physiological or muscular point of view. So initially he did some tests, like almost like a physical examination. He found my left side and my right side were pretty much symmetrical. The only slight difference was my hip was slightly twisted down, so my right leg was looking slightly longer, which he said wasn't a problem. To the actual bike fit itself, it was done on like this rig. I'll put a picture on now. It was a very clever rig where you could change literally every single angle you could imagine on a bike. You could change it on this rig. And on the seat there was this pressure mapping thing where the darker the colour on the saddle on the computer screen, the more pressure you were applying to that specific area. So the idea of this was to find a saddle where the pressure was most evenly spread and there wasn't too many red spots. Now this is interesting because with mine, I had the Physique Arione on my bike and there was a lot of red patches, particularly down the middle because there's no cutout. So then I switched to a saddle with a cutout down the middle and the pressure just changed completely. It was a lot more evenly spread and in turn it meant I was doing less damage to myself. Yeah, but in terms of the bike geometry and dynamics, the biggest change was that the saddle, I was running it about 30 mil too low, which is like pretty incredible really, because I honestly thought that was like my natural seat height and it felt relatively comfortable, but it wasn't. He put me up about 30 mil, which is massive. Every now and again I suffer from knee pains. He thinks that part to blame was because the saddle was so low. I was putting a lot of lateral stress on my knee joints. So hopefully that will have combated that. Now another two things that he changed or wanted to change on my bike that he set up on the rig was smaller handlebars. I ride 42mm and I always have ridden 42mm, but he wants me to ride 40mm. He said my shoulders were quite narrow and therefore with 42s I was sort of like this. However, if I had 40cm bars, I would be much more centralised. And the other thing was the crank length. We did a lot of testing with the cranks and we found that my most optimum position was 170mm. That's 5mm shorter than what I've currently got on, which is quite amazing really. Now this wasn't a massive deal, like I'm not going to go out tomorrow and buy new cranks that are 5mm shorter, but in the future if I do get new cranks, then we'll go for a shorter crank. We found that my cadence was naturally higher on the shorter cranks, and we all know higher cadence is better. Other things that he changed, I'll put a picture on the screen now, and if you want to pause it, then pause it and have a look at all the little different things that he changed, all the different angles and slight little measurements from the bar to the seat to the bottom bracket. I hope that's quite clear. Here is another visual which might make it look like a bit more sense. So this is a visual picture of the bike with all the different measurements on. Now this is cool because I can take this when I go and get my new winter bike and I can just completely copy all the different distances and all the different angles from this diagram that I received today after my bike fit, put them onto my winter bike, and that should be the most optimum position for me. Now as with anything like this, it's not going to be perfect first time. No matter how many wires they put up to you, how many angles they measure, how many recordings they take of you and analyse, things always change, whether it's your flexibility or your fitness or your core stability improves, which means you can be in more of an aggressive position. Things always change and everything's going to need tweaking now and again. So I'm looking forward to going out and testing these new positions on my bike tomorrow. But my initial thoughts were that it had improved quite significantly. Just riding on the turbo, it did feel a lot more natural and a lot more comfortable. But yeah, we'll take it out on the bike and test it out. So yeah, overall I think I would recommend a bike fit of this caliber. I certainly learnt a lot about myself today and learned a lot about bike positioning and you know what you should and what you shouldn't do, and it was very interesting to hear it from a professional bike fitter's point of view. So yeah, if you're thinking of doing it, at this point I would say do it. If you don't think you can afford £200, just spend £200 less on your bike, which is quite easy because bikes cost a lot of money and everything that comes with it. But like I said, I haven't tested it out on the road yet. I will go out tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and in a few days time I'll give a bit more of a comprehensive review of how I actually feel from then and how I feel now, whether any of the pains have gone, whether they've stayed, or whether there's any new pains. So look out for that. But for now, this is the end of the video for today guys. Thanks for watching. I apologise again that I couldn't get much footage inside. I've already explained the reason why. But thanks for watching. Please leave a big thumbs up and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.